Now, at exactly what point did we lose control here?
Golems, be careful.
Stop this at once, brother. There has to be another way. No longer, Golesh. Hand over the prince or die. You've gone mad. You can't accomplish anything this way. Maybe I don't care anymore. Now I just want you to suffer. This is it. Your Highness, flee. You must go now before...
Run, stupid. Well, that could have gone better. But hey, viewers, welcome to my room at Penguisha, and to another episode of Otaku Evolution. Let's talk about our favorite libidinous looter, Lupin III. Well, here we are at another great time to be a Lupin III fan. Part 6 is airing in Japan, and on High Dive if you're one of the 6 people who subscribe to that. Plenty of Lupin anime past and present are being dubbed into English by the Part 4 and 5 crew, and rumor has it there might even be another Koike film in the mix someday soon. It seems like things are going just right for our sideburn swindler and his merry band of ne'er-do-wells who travel the world looting and loving. As a huge Lupin mark myself, I'm eating it up. After all, Lupin is one of the bona fide pillars of my anime fandom. The last time we visited Lupin, back in my Farewell to Nostradamus review, we saw one of the, lowlights of the franchise. Maybe a midlight at best. Point is, it was as boring as watching paint dry. And none of that high-quality Benjamin Moore Regal Select Interior stuff either. As much as I love Lupin, there are plenty of entries in the franchise that are forgettable, or that you'll wish you could forget. Fortunately, today I'm highlighting a rather good entry, the 1996 theatrical anime feature, Lupin III, Dead or Alive. What makes this entry in the franchise so special? Well, it was directed by Lupin III creator Monkey Punch himself. Sort of. You see, from the information I've gathered, while Monkey Punch is listed as its director, he did as little as possible in the role, leaving a lot of the work to Chief Director Hiroyuki Yano and the rest of the Japanese staff. He put special effort into the opening sequence of the movie, but otherwise found the process of making a movie too difficult for him, and didn't do another after this. Still, the movie definitely has the Monkey Punch touch to it. Lupin and his team, including expert gunman Daisuke Jigen, master swordsman Goemon Ishikawa XIII, and femme fatale Fujiko Mine, are all after the treasure of the Drifting Island, a score protected by countless mechanical arms controlled by nanomachines. They look for the secret to unlock this treasure in the country of Zufu, a once prosperous nation now in the crushing grip of the dictator General Headhunter. Lupin challenges Headhunter, bringing Inspector Zenigata from the ICPO, his eternal pursuer, to the country to catch him.
Feels like my whole life I've been dreaming of the day I'd bring you in. But it's funny, now that I've got the prize, I'm already starting to miss the thrill of the chase.
Hey, believe me, I know the feeling, Pops.
Yeah, sure, you're just saying that, aren't you?
Nah, not really. I've chased after a few prizes myself.
Listen to me, I shouldn't complain. I got my whole life ahead of me. And you, Lupin III, have a life in jail!
It seems that the key to unlocking the secret of the treasure is Headhunter's daughter. Lupin and the gang seemingly kidnap her, but it turns out to be a fake. Really a secret agent named Oleander, a fierce and determined officer with a hidden past of her own. And Lupin has to contend with her superior, the ruthless Crisis. So things are stacked against our heroes, and their claim to the treasure may be a faraway dream.
He with you?
One of the most important, if not the most important for a Lupin feature, is tone. When you watch a Lupin adventure, you've got to wonder if it's going to be a wacky, slapstick, comedic, Tom and Jerry-like caper, a more hard-boiled, even somewhat dark affair, or something in between. Monkey Punch's manga had an entire spectrum of tones, but there was always an underlying, let's say, cruelty or dark humor to it, even for as silly as it could be. Some features tend to water Lupin down to make him family-friendly, and thus he loses some of its dangerous edge, and yet some ramp it up. Dead or Alive is very much a Monkey Punch affair, leaning more towards the darker side of the spectrum. It's not a humorless trudge, but it's definitely not the sillier Lupin you see in Part 2. I like that Dead or Alive approaches the story with some frankness and, for lack of a better term, realism. It's an enhanced realism to be sure, but not so exaggerated as to seem melodramatic. Lupin and his group are up against a ruthless dictator who succeeded in a bloody military coup just a few years prior, and there's a sense of rawness to the pain and desperation of the country. There aren't a lot of drawn-out pratfalls and pulled faces in this movie. We really get the feelings of Oleander, her longing for a figure of the past, and her hope for the future. As a feature-independent Lupin lady, or Phil, she fits the bill without overplaying her hand or overstaying her welcome, and it adds to the substance of the tone. Another thing any good Lupin feature has is a good mix of characters, good chemistry and balance between them. I get the feeling that the mission in Zufu was a team effort for the Lupin gang, and while they don't really give Jigen and Goemon anything to do on their own, the team is often acting in tandem without one character totally eclipsing the others, except for Lupin himself on occasion, naturally. I can feel a real sense of danger from characters like Headhunter and Crisis that makes them intimidating villains, and it's always good to get a little bit of old Pop Zenigata, acting competent, but imperfect. They don't make a complete joke out of him like many Lupin movies do. He even manages to fool Lupin at least once. Unfortunately, and I hate to bring this up before the end-of-year English dub review, the dubbed version of this really strips away at its tone with the bad accents, amateurish deliveries, and the cast's insistence on pronouncing his name Lupin. Dead or Alive is a feature with a lot of great atmosphere and personality, and it loses layers by being boiled down to a dime a dozen anime movie that Funimation could just do whatever they wanted with, without respecting it much.
Sorry. I forgot you don't like smoke.
Don't like smoke, but I love to drink. It's the only thing I got left anymore.
I think he's about had it for tonight.
Though admittedly, even the Japanese version has a flaw, and that Kenichi Kurita still wasn't entirely in the role of Lupin yet. He was still mostly doing a rough impression of Yasuo Yamada that didn't shape into his own performance until around the early aughts. He's still fairly good, it just sticks out to anyone who's ever heard Yamada's Lupin. But Dead or Alive is one of the better entries in the Lupin franchise. Maybe not as strong as, say, Island of Assassins or Missed by a Dollar, but it leaves turkeys like Farewell to Nostradamus in the dust. I'm glad it was a theatrical movie because it made good use of a movie budget, looking really good, sounding for the most part really good, and feeling really good. There's not a whole lot more to say about it without spoiling it all, so I'll just say that as soon as Discotek puts this out on Blu-ray, you should grab it. Just, watch it in Japanese with English subtitles. Sorry this had to be a short one. I've got a lot on my plate with the holidays coming up. In fact, my next video, while not overtly Christmas-themed, has a bit of dressing to it in case you need that sort of thing. More importantly, it'll tackle a subject I'm surprised I haven't said much on its own yet. Anime directors. Until then, I have a feeling there's gonna be a lot of fallout from what just happened in that cave, and I need to steel myself for it. See ya!
Order up! Guy!
Any contact from the Lithos? I can't imagine that'll convince Zwell to give in to their demands. Especially since we've confirmed Moran's escape. As much as I'd revel in taking in that assassin, we've got a bigger issue at hand. Yes. But let's not get too concerned. After all, Cassis is a mature guy. I can't imagine him acting too rashly and— What the fuck?!